This week's affirmation is, I will not allow others' opinions to ruin my belief in God. And today's action item for this affirmation is to take some time to think of examples either from your own life, your personal examples, or examples of those around you, or examples of those in history or stories or the scriptures. Think of examples of people who stuck to what they believed even when it was hard. And I would love to hear your examples. So yeah, send me a DM, leave a comment, and let me know. In Instagram messages, you can even do a little voice recording to share some of those examples of people who stuck to what they believed even when it was hard. But for now, I want to share with you an example from the scriptures that I really love, and that is in the Old Testament in Daniel chapter 6, and it is Daniel himself, the experience of him with the lion's den. And during this time, Daniel was highly favored of the king, and there were those who were jealous of Daniel because of that. And so they came up with this plan, and they created this statue of the king and flattered the king, essentially, and flattered him and had him sign this decree where for 30 days the only thing that anyone could worship was the king. So when Daniel found out about this decree that had been signed, he did not falter in his beliefs. And I want to go ahead and read Daniel chapter 6 verse 10, what Daniel's response was. It says, "Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime." So he continued to do the same thing that he had done even after hearing about the king's decree, and even knowing what the consequences would be. He continued. And when the king was told what Daniel was doing, he was sorrowful about that. But it's interesting, his response, as he was not able to change the decree. What had been signed, and he couldn't change it. And so Daniel was cast into the lion's den. But this is what the king said, and I find this very interesting. He said, "Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee." So because of the things that Daniel had already told him, and probably his example that he had set before the king had faith that God would deliver Daniel. And it even says that the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. And so he did this all for Daniel. And then when the morning came, they went and they checked in on Daniel, and there was no harm had come upon him. And this is what Daniel said unto the king, "O king, live forever," which I love because that shows that he didn't actually hold anything against the king. And then he said, "My God hath sent his angel and hath shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me, forasmuch as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt." And in verse 23 it says, "And no matter of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God." And sometimes the responses that we get to sticking to what it is that we believe are not always positive. And Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. But even then, the Lord supports us, and he strengthens us, and he guides us, and he gives us the things that we need to be able to endure and continue on and to have that faith that we need. So this is one example that I love of someone who's sticking to what it is that they believe even when it's hard. I would love to hear your examples, so please send me a message, comment below, and let me know of some of those who did not allow others' opinions to ruin their belief in God.